like and subscribe to the channel, and maybe I won't tell your parents exactly what you smoked on the weekend with friends. What dirty little secret of someone else's have you been dying to tell? My coworker let another coworker bang her while her husband was away in the army, whilst another coworker had sex with her friend in the same room. I know a guy who made over $1 million in precious metal recover from old factories and managed to get away without reporting it to the eyes. A very prominent business owner once drunkenly confessed to me one night while I was working at a bar that he loved to be dressed like a lady and let his wife peg him. Well, this being a redneck town of 3,000 people, I found it best to let him forget he told me. My ex was into cat stuff, but wouldn't admit it. He considered buying me a $75 set of cat ears and a tail butt plug. He wore a pair of Annin cat ears I'd bought the one time on purpose, and he had, like, 2 nipples and 4 milk spots, which are little birthmark looking deals that are the beginnings of nipples. I shit you not, he was weird into cats. Two coworkers of mine are bumping uglies. Not only did I catch them coming out of an area they had no business being near, but I have also seen them together in public. They're both married, and the dude and his wife have a newborn. You're gonna feel like real shit when you find out the coworker is teaching the other one to knit. They were only hanging out in public, going to stores to buy the supplies, and spending private time at work demonstrating how to do it. Has gonna surprise his wife with the best home knit sweater ever, and you're gonna feel like shit. One of my closest friends cross-dresses secretly and doesn't know I know. He's ex-military and had gone to prison. He's a rough guy who grew up with a man's man kind of image, fixing cars, farm work, metalworking, working out, etc. Found his ex dressing kit when I was helping him move. Picked up a box that was under his bed and opened it to make sure it wasn't something fragile before I tossed it in a pile. Fake tits, a bra, panties, some dresses folded up with some of his jeans cut to look like Daisy Dukes. I put it back where I found it and picked up some more boxes to take downstairs. None of us would care if he told us, but it's his secret if he wants to keep it. Yes, OMG. I once walked a very drunk friend home to his dorm room in college, and just before he got into his room, he pooped himself. Like, all over himself and all onto the floor. It was crazy. He was drunk and crying. He was so mortified. But I got him to the toilet, and while he was in there I cleaned it all up. Nobody saw a godman thing. Got him back to his room and he fell asleep immediately. I threw his dirty clothes away in a dumpster on the way home. In the morning he didn't remember any of it, but he was pretty stumped on where his favorite shorts had gone to. I felt so stealthy. Would like to think he would do the same for me. Lol, I guess it's more my secret now. A former coworker of mine is a mid-20s lesbian currently engaged to a girl that basically brought her to this area. None of that is a secret. The secret is that she's recently realized she doesn't love her new fiance. She's actually crushing on her fiance's best friend, but doesn't know what to do. 2 supervisors from that same department played a particularly mean prank on another supervisor. They took the phone of a girl he was crushing on, worked in a sister location, and texted him things that lead him to believe she was interested in him. By the time he figured out what happened, the girl was creeped out, and he had to submit paperwork 2 hours. Had a job where we had to drive occasionally for work. We had to provide abstracts periodically and carry third-party liability. My co-worker buddy came in one day saying he lost his license from too many speeding tickets. Not a huge deal for the company, there are other drivers. One night we are out for drinks, and he tells me that the real reason he lost his license is that he is in the country illegally and his US license is now expired now. He was dodging some criminal shit back home and came up to Canada. Nice guy, he assured me it was for some Mickey Mouse shit back home. So I kept his secret. Still up here last I checked. Friend of mine has never had a relationship, claims to never have wanted one. He got real blackout drunk a few years back and told me the loneliness has basically killed him on the inside and he's just waiting to die. He's a good person, very nice, humble and respectful. So since he's told me every time he jokes about something or the subject comes up and he says with a cocksure grin that he doesn't want one and that it will never work out, that sentence echoes in my head. He just changes the subject, carries on, and I don't think he remembers telling me that. One night, my boss left to go home. I was still working and heard a phone buzz to my left. I looked over and he had left his phone. I thought the buzzing might be him using his wife's phone to try to find it or something along those lines. I picked it up and instead of it being my boss, it is an email reply to a M4 to Craigslist looking for a femboy. That was 3 months ago. A couple weeks later, my boss was talking to a patient on his phone and handed the phone over to me to schedule him for an appointment. When I hit end call, a Yahoo instant message popped up asking if he was a thick comer. So I'm pretty certain at this point that my boss is trawling for dudes on the internet. Then a few weeks ago I was using his phone again, and this time the message was addressed to Sir, and it said from your dress up doll. My boss is a prominent doctor in the community and married to a woman. A fake. I'm the only one who knows other than him, and I guess his boyfriend slash sub slash whatever. I just hope his wife knows. Late to the thread, but I'll share anyways. I know this girl, let's call her Carly. Carly was a good friend of my ex, and my ex being the big myth she has told me this story. Carly was at a party eating for some people, just standing around when Chode McG walked up with his intoxicated friends and started hitting on Carly. Carly was bored, so she didn't tell Chode and the boys to fuck off just yet, but started talking to them. Their conversation somehow got to Chode asking Carly if he could lick her asshole for $45. Carly obviously said no way, that's disgusting, but alas, Chode was persistent. Chode offered more and more money until him and his friends had pooled all their money they had on them. For $220, Carly bent over, let Chode fulfill his smelly dream, and then left with her friends, as if nothing had happened. Edit, ding is designated driving in my area. I assumed everyone knew what it meant. A friend from high school now makes a living as a Christian mommy blogger and motivational speaker for churches. She makes good $sign portraying them as a picture perfect family who overcome their sinful beginnings through Christ. They had a shotgun marriage in high school because she got knocked up. They fucking hate each other. She always has at least one boyfriend on the side. He got through college by making her do all his homework and fill him in on a few highlights to fake it through classes. Apparently, his major was more essay oriented than test oriented, so it was easier to have her do all the work. She did that, took care of their kids by herself, and worked full time while being berated by their church for it because she was stepping outside her proper place in the home while he ran off to play with his friends, smoke meth, and fuck hookers. He finally got around to getting an actual job recently, now that he's been out of college for nearly a decade. But he still spends all his money on drugs, hookers, and goofing off. The household gets by on my friend's money. She's an absolute insufferable martyr and is the first one to throw stones at people who put up a less Christian facade than she does. 6 years ago, my fiance's sister Gemma got pregnant and then had an abortion secretly. She was 14 at the time. Afterwards, she struggled with her grades, dropped out of several schools, and changed her friendship groups multiple times. Last year Gemma finally managed to graduate high school from a flexible learning center, but her friendship patterns remain the same, and she can't keep a job. She struggles enormously with her weight and self-esteem issues. She holds everyone at arm's length, choosing to distance herself emotionally, where before she was extremely friendly and outgoing, really valuing her close friends. She also fosters a child who is the same age as her child would have been had she not had the abortion. This child's mother is still alive and in contact with the child. However, Gemma encourages the child to call her mum. She is overly attached to this child and lives in constant fear of the birth mother taking her baby away. Gemma is mentally unstable and too emotionally immature to properly care for the child, and I really, genuinely fear for both of them. I know Gemma would benefit incredibly from some counseling and support from her family. She has never dealt properly with the loss of her child. I have spoken to her many times, but she isn't willing at all to share her secret with the family, as they are very conservative. I don't want to ruin any relationships, but I know if Gemma continues down this path, it could be very destructive, and now there is a child involved. I want what is best for both of them. I don't know what to do. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel and like. Share your stories in the comments.